Hello, I have come before you today to talk about gender stereotypes. Now, when I say that, I don't always get the most positive response. A lot of times, people like to deny that gender stereotypes are a thing, or just say they're something of the past that doesn't affect us anymore. That there is equality among men and women. And although I'm not going to sit here and tell you that things haven't gotten better and the world hasn't evolved, gender stereotypes and inequality are still a big, big part of the world today. And the two things really go hand in hand. For people to sit there and deny that they're a problem is really hard, especially from somebody who gender stereotypes have affected their whole entire life. For those people out there that deny that it's an issue, I'm going to tell my story and show you that they do really affect every part of our being. You know, as a young woman, I was always self-conscious of the way I looked. I looked in magazines and on TV, famous actresses, singers, and I didn't really see myself. I thought that I didn't measure up to society's standard of beauty. This skinny blonde with gorgeous flawless complexion and skin. It took me forever to be really confident in who I was. I was very tall and I didn't like being tall because it made me stood out. So I would hunch over and try to hide. I would do everything I could to not be recognized because I was afraid that people would judge me based on the way I looked, because I didn't consider myself to be beautiful. Looking back on that, I realize that I am beautiful, and that no young woman should let society's standard be their standard of beauty. Because beauty is something that is subjective. You know, there is no one definition of beauty. I truly believe that every woman is beautiful in their own way, but the media doesn't always project that, and so I was bullied a lot. So I did everything to try to fit in with the trends. I tried to hang out with the popular kids, wore makeup, basically did everything in my life to impress other people and to fit into this societal definition of beauty. I was also very self-conscious of my weight. Many times I would starve myself. I had a borderline eating disorder because I was wanted so bad to be skinny, to just be like everybody else. These stereotypes for years made me feel like I wasn't worthy, like I wasn't enough, like I had to act like this girly, beautiful, quiet woman that the media often projects, even though that wasn't me. I wasn't happy like that, but still I changed who I was because of these things. I also was very concerned about being popular, about boys and other girls liking me. That's how I defined my success, because that's what I saw on television. You know, the more popular the girl, the more beautiful they're considered, the more they fit in to these gender stereotypes, to this idea that society holds for us. As I grew older, you know, I was very, very fortunate. I had wonderful, wonderful parents and a beautiful, strong mother that really just inspired and empowered me. She would always write little notes in my lunch that told me I was beautiful, that I was smart, that I was defined by so much more than these gender stereotypes and what society sees as beautiful. I was also very fortunate that she put me into a program called Girls Inc. Girls Inc. truly changed my life in a way that I could never really fully come to terms with or fully understand. Through those programs, I met a lot of young women who built me up and didn't tear me down. I learned so much more about the fact that I didn't have to fit into these stereotypes, that I was beautiful and I was worthy. Even though I didn't see myself in the media, I was enough. And I'm very fortunate for those programs. I stopped changing who I was. I started wearing what made me comfortable. I started, being proud of myself, proud of the way I looked. Unfortunately, I realized, especially as I got to high school, that not every girl has that. I had a very hard time in high school because a lot of my friends were super concerned about their weight. They would, go to the gym every single day. They would only eat healthy things and never really have a cheat day because they were so concerned about keeping the societal image. They wore heavy makeup and were only concerned about one thing, and that was boys and whether they liked them. No matter how they treated them, they felt that that was what defined their self-worth. And I try to tell my friends every day that that isn't the case. But it's hard because those messages are all around us from the time we're little, from TV shows to magazines to movies, etc. All of them show us that this is what a girl has to be and should be. It also teaches us about, kind of the inequality. I have a lot of friends who are in super bad relationships because they believe, because of these stereotypes, that men should be the aggressive, controlling, dominating ones in relationships. That no matter how bad they treat them, they need a man in their life to feel worthy. I mean, these messages are all around them, so it's no wonder that they feel this way. But it upsets me so much because girls are worth so much more than that. I know I, as a girl, through my accomplishments, have had to work a million times harder to be recognized. If a boy in the class got the top mark, everyone would know, everyone would praise them. If I got it, nobody would say anything, or they would still praise the guys. It's harder to be recognized as a girl. You have to work harder. I know, being in a lot of science classes, there's only about 3 girls in my physics class, 5 girls in upper level university math classes. And I don't believe that this is just because guys are smarter or better at those subject areas. I believe girls really lose confidence in themselves. They're told that from the time they're born that they will never be as good as guys. They aren't good enough. That they have to meet a guy and then start a family, and that's their life and that's their purpose. And that is so false. But it's all around me. As a teenage girl, I see it, from young children to teenagers, even to adults. And it just upsets me so much, because girls are worth so much more. So if you still think that gender stereotypes don't exist and they don't affect people, then I guess there's nothing more I can do. Because guess what? They do still exist, and they do still affect girls from all over. So you may be wondering, what can we do to stop these gender stereotypes? Well, that is a very, very hard thing to do. You know, they are all around us, and it would take a huge societal shift. But I think it needs to start with girls. It needs to start with girls realizing that, hey, we don't have to put up with this. We know this is not real life. We need more girls to stand up for this, to tell the people in positions of power that this is not us, and we will not stand for this. We need more women in positions of power, to advocate for this. We need more young women going to these officials, saying, we won't take this. We need girls to be more confident in themselves. We need more education programs that show young girls from a very young age that they are worth so much more. And lastly, we need men and boys to stop denying that these things exist, to stop following them, and to say, you know what, I'm going to stand up for that girl, or I'm going to tell her that she's beautiful, no matter what others say. Those things truly make a world of a difference. We, as women, are amazing. We have all the tools to be change makers, to be the next generation of innovators. We can be the next scientists. We can be the next politicians, world leaders. We can do truly anything we set our mind to. But unfortunately, some young girls will never realize this potential. Some young girls in countries are forced to marry at the age of 12. And all they do is start a family and never get to have that career, never get to have that education. So we, as young women, hold so much power. Just because we're young and just because we're women doesn't mean that we can't stand up for what we believe in, and we can't stop this societal cycle. We need to stand up for this. I hope after hearing this that you'll be inspired to talk to the people in your life, to talk to the people in positions of power, your family members, your friends, your aunts, your uncles, and do something about it. Stand up for inequalities in your school, in your workplace, in your community. You hold so much power, and you'll be so surprised at what you can do. If we all stand up, we can make such a difference. Thank you for listening, and I hope I inspired you to make a change, because women truly are amazing. Thank you.